is the Euskadi GP, the 6th round of the EnduroGP held in the northwest part of Spain in Guadalajara. The little town of Guadalajara is located 18 kilometres away from the city of Bilbao in the Basque country and is known to be a paradise for enduro riders. Rounds 11 and 12 of the EnduroGP will be the longest of the season. 3 laps of 72 kilometres. Riders are going to be very busy, 7.5 hours on the bike. The aim of the Euskadi GP was to reconnect with the roots of enduro. Therefore, the challenges are many, the liaisons fast between tests, the climbs huge and slippery due to the rain. Despite those tricky conditions, the most important thing is not to get stuck and pick up liaison penalties. With 2 very successful teammates, Alex Salvini needs to react to show he has the same level of performance as Holcomb and Aubert. The first day went really well for the beta rider, who managed to stay out of trouble. A fantastic last lap with 2 second places and a win in the last cross test placed him on the 2nd spot of the podium on day 1, 4th on day 2. Loic Larios suffered from the wrong tyre choice on day 1 and struggled to find grip. But round 2 was much more successful for the Frenchman, who was able to fight for the top step of the podium. After a 3rd in Greece, he improved his best result to 2nd in Spain. Championship leader Matthew Phillips suffered some problems to find a good rhythm. On day 1, the Australian lost 26 seconds in stage 1 of the morning. He tweaked the bike to make it a little bit better, but finished 5th, and there was no improvement on day 2. It wasn't all disastrous, as you may find out a little later on. While Phillips struggled, Nathan Watson had a consistent weekend, as you would expect. 4th position has been his regular level in EnduroGP, but on the 2nd day here, the KTM rider went 1 step better to reach the podium for the 5th time of the season. He also claimed the most wins in the EnduroGP test on Sunday. After a strong performance in Sweden, Manuel Moni kept his momentum here in Guadalajara. Round 1, the Italian rider was on the pace for a podium for the first time this season, and claimed that result in the last test. Round 2 was the same, but the Italian made a mistake in the last enduro test, blinded by Antoine Basset's dust. He missed a chicane, took a shortcut, and gave a 30-second penalty. Another person having a bad day was Ero Remes. A weekend, in fact, to forget. The TM rider won the first enduro test on Saturday morning, but then the weekend started to collapse. He lost 30 seconds in the first cross test and went backwards from there, finishing 14th overall. Day 2 looked better until an engine failure on his TM, and he had to retire. No points from Spain gives Matthew Phillips a firm grip on the title. Also a bad weekend, Steve Holcomb struggled all day with gearbox issues on day 1, finishing last eventually. He rode most of the day in 1st or 2nd gear. Day 2 was better, he finished 6th, but of course couldn't run at the same level as the other competitors with lack of experience. He's now in an intense championship battle, which will be fought out in Italy and France. Last time Matthias Bellino crossed the finishing line as race winner was in Morocco 4 months before the start of the season. The reign of Portugal and Greece and the Scandinavian tour have been long and painful journeys for the Frenchman. But Bellino now is back. 4 test victories on day 1, he took victory and then followed it up on day 2 after a fantastic first lap with which gave him a 30-second advantage. Consistency was all that was needed to take victory number 3 and drag him up into the title fight. What a season, roller coaster he's experienced this year. I've had a few issues since the start of the season. Now it's my knees in Sweden. I have surgery planned for after Italy. It holds up during the races, then that's the most important thing. In 10 days, I'll be ready. No worries, and it'll be ready to fight for the championship. Matthew Phillips holds on at the moment with an added advantage after Ero Remez's problems. Remez have to fight off Holcomb, Bellino and Watson for that fight for second spot. But anything can happen in EnduroGP, and it usually does.